quick introduction. Confused trader. This is Sharat Shah. Sharat Bhai he has been trading for I think more than 40 years, possibly more than 50 also, considering he's been trading from his childhood. He has seen markets of all varieties and all sorts. He's one of the few people I know who has. Has been active on both the long and short sides in reality. I mean, a lot of in the sense in positional shorts, longer term, where they were bad or rotten companies, and he has actually benefited from fundamental short positions as well, and also one of the most rich experiences that I've ever heard about in very interesting ways. So, Sharad Bhai, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Not that it's much of a show, but
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
a great thing. Uh, it's actually actually something that I wanted to ask you for the longest time. What uh, brought you? I mean, I know that you've been trading from other thing, but what attracted you to the short side of trading? Because for the most of the early years, you would have seen a lot of those bull markets and the long side.
Mm.
And what is different now or about the short side, and how does one think about playing the short side of the market?
Well, in the initial years and full time, I was trading from 1986 in the ring.
Wow.
I would make a lot of money on the long side, and one fine morning, I will lose it all. That was the phenomena which kept on happening until 1992. Then I realized
Wow.
that same kind of money can be made on the short side. And the beauty of the shorts are that you tend to make money in a few days, you don't have to wait until 10 years and all that. Then I
Wow.
spoke to one great speculator, Mr. Ghanshyam Das Biyani. He
Huh.
he told me, boss, buy good stocks, don't sell them, and whatever is in Vaida, that time it was known as Vaida, the futures market.
Huh.
You sell
Oh.
the sheep and the goats. So that's how I cultivated that habit. And in the ring, I used to scalp a lot. So basically, scalping operate tends to be selling and buying, that way. So that got ingrained into me. That's
Wow. Wow.
and now also people are very bullish. Not Sensex, Nifty at 17,000.
Huh.
I failed to figure out how it is a bull market. In in
Yeah.
2007, Nifty was at 6,400, and if you
Yes.
add 12% interest also, which was prevalent, I had kept an FD at 14% in State Bank of India at that time. Okay, so
Wow.
how does it uh, turn out to be a bull market in general? Yes, a lot of stocks have done very well, and further on also a lot of stocks will do very well. But most of the stocks will just disappear. And stocks are a perishable item.
That's an interesting viewpoint. Why, when you say perishable, that means individual stocks
Yeah, yeah,
perish.
yeah, yeah. Now, if somebody will ask me Tata Steel, no, it's not a perishable, but a lot of chinku pinku, that will not be there. And I think I spoke to you couple of months back that since I was active in the market or before than that, almost 2,000 companies have disappeared, delisted. So
Yes,
what
yes.
about investors in those companies? Um,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we've heard, in fact, even till 3 months ago, or 3 years ago, you could not believe Yes Bank would be in low to this, 10, 11, 12 rupees. And today it is there.
yeah, and very interesting anecdote is that in 1983, my
Huh.
brother-in-law invited to the stock exchange, and he made me meet a broker. So I said hi, hello, everything.
Huh.
Till this, just fill us in why this topic and what did you have in mind while putting this topic in?
So, Sharad Bhai actually has a very interesting set of insights around how promoters or stock players, participants, operators, however you may, play dirty in the stock market now. Earlier, it used to be done differently. Now it's done differently because now you have electronic trading. Earlier, it used to be on the ring, and settlement period used to be longer. But um, let me just see. Okay, so the thing that I've learned about this is a lot of times the the positions, that the way the stocks make moves, sometimes have this symbol or at least the way that you can see the stocks move, it involves stock operators coming in who move the stock based on either their own or a promoter's whims and fancies in order to achieve certain objectives. This is interesting because it's not actually allowed legally to manipulate stocks, which for a purpose other than actually trading in and out of the stock. So, for instance, if you want to defend a certain level on a stock, if you want to, and there are reasons why they do that. Sharad bhai, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now. So,
Yes, yes, perfect.
so afterwards, the broker meeting was over.
Huh.
My brother-in-law told me that he has given 10,000 shares of Kohinoor Mills to his
Okay.
son-in-law,
Oh,
who means as gift.
as a gift.
Yeah. So I said, why Kohinoor Mills? So he's saying the price is 5,000, you calculate, and after so many years, what will happen? And now you see Kohinoor Mills went out in 3 years' time.
Oh my God.
So basically, this people talk of long term, 10 years, 15 years. That's very stupid. You don't know in this dynamic world how things change. Xerox was a
I
favorite stock in India also and in US also. It went under.
correct.
Rico India, recently,
Yes, yes.
nobody was able to spot
Actually,
it was a fraud. Only inkling I had
yes.
was that it is going up very fast.
Oh,
Mm. So,
so there was.
yeah, go on, Deepak. Go on.
No, no. So I was saying, Jalbai, that when the stock was going up really fast, that was more a signal of it being operated or
Yeah,
moved about.
yeah. And nowadays, most of the stocks go up
Huh.
after 3 o'clock.
After 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Oh, so who would be doing something like this?
See, first of all, you should
Or
understand this market is not for the investors. The market is for the promoters. The sooner
Got
you
it.
accept this, it is better for us. We are just like
I see.
Bharatis, we cannot just earn money if the promoter is not active.
I see.
Otherwise, all the
So,
yeah, go on.
so, so this is interesting because how do promoters get active on the stock? Because they are not allowed to buy and sell on their own, no? Because they have to meet some limit, some 4-5% maximum and all that.
No, that's very easy. That the promoters' relatives will pump in money into Marcellus or Capital Mind or whatever, and they will buy the stock. It's that simple.
I see. I see. I see. I see. So there is
No, now
there's
the greatest example
uh,
is Asian Paints.
okay.
3 family offices are pumping in money in PMSs and they keep on buying that stock. So, uh,
I
uh,
see.
uh, people who are here or otherwise always say I'm cynical or I see conspiracy theories everywhere. But in fact, everything is a conspiracy, boss.
Whether
Now, take
it
for
happens
example,
by purpose or
Maruti
huh.
with pathetic results, pathetic of working now and going ahead. It will not go down for sure. And who's buying? Suzuki Japan. Because if
Oh,
Maruti falls over here, it falls over
oh,
there. So these are all
oh.
very complicated reasons and theories and all that, but they are there.
And
And whenever
interesting. So
no, you go ahead.
sorry. No, 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 no. I was just saying. Sorry. Please continue. Please continue. Whenever you
No, I lost it.
I forgot that. Yeah, my bad, my bad. No, no. So I mean, I was thinking. So the promoters, so Suzuki would obviously want to see its own stock price high. Therefore, it keeps Maruti stock price perhaps to whatever level it wants to.
Hmm.
So I mean, of course, assuming that's the logic, are so if promoters themselves, do they have that kind of money to be able to buy that stock of their own, or do they use the company's money to do it?
No. With the stock they hold,
Ah,
they indirectly borrow money and put it in the
oh,
family office, and or rather whatever matlab holding is in family office, uh, they
ah,
leverage it and give it to PMS.
I see, I see. So this is also how there was a Yes Bank a situation where the promoter had some stock where he said he is not actually pledged it, but it was kind of pledged against a loan, and that loan, that money could have been therefore used to manipulate the stock itself, right?
Yes. I know it very well because a friend of mine was matlab operating.
Arey wah. I would
No,
love to hear
he
the.
was operating Yes Bank, DHFL, this India Bull housing and real estate. So the moment I realized that the operation has gone to this person,
Huh.
definitely it's a fraud company. See, I have certain stupid logics, but they always work. Now, take for example this Loda.
Huh. Macrotech. Huh.
Ah, uh, the operator of Akruti.
Huh.
He is now doing Loda. So now, For me, it is very easy to conclude it will go a Lakruti way because it came at 20,000 crores. Now it is something like 62,000 crores. How on the earth it can be? For what joy? But ultimately it will come down to 2,000, 3,000. Market cap.
Market cap. That's like 3% of what it is.
Yeah.
But in fact, you had a very interesting story on the Akruti end also. And I remember now it's called Uptown or something.
Yeah.
And there were some people who were trying to move that share. And, what is, I mean, I don't know if you, please feel free to tell me that, I don't want to talk about it. But
yeah, no. It is very what is it? Simple. I shorted the stock at around 400. Then operator and the promoter moved it to some or 600. So I shorted more. Then the promoter came to me and said, "You short my stock." So I said, "I am losing money." So he said, "How much?" I said, 2 crores. So he said, "Okay, I'll give you 2 crores. You square up your position." So I said, "Just that you have been to my office. I'll square up my transaction, but I won't accept the money." And that's how I squared it off. After 3-4 months, the operator, who is a very funny guy, and his name is he called me up at around 900. Ki takat hai to becho. So I said, "Please, I'm not interested." Then one day evening he said, "Arey kya chota bachche ke bechna?" So from 900 I started, and he checked it up to 2,200.
Yes, I remember that. In 3 days or something.
हाँ 4-5 दिन जो भी था. So as usual, I have some relatives and friends at right places. I told them that there is a section in the security there. You move it to spot. So it was transferred to spot, and in 4 days the cutoff was at 800.
Yeah, that was the final expiry day.
Yeah, and I explained it to the promoter. Please don't do all this. The result will be so pathetic. You will be nowhere. So he told me, "This is my family heirloom." So all promoters think their equity is family heirloom.
I see. And interesting, the stock is now at 50 rupees. After I think 13-14 years since that date, or 12 years since that date.
No, but Deepak bhai, if you go to see, if we talk about Nifty, Unitech, DLF, Jaiprakash Associates, Suzlon, Reliance Infra, Reliance Capital, Reliance Power, and so many others were part of Nifty boss.
Totally agree. Yes.
So Nifty is not a
high quality.
The company is good.
True.
I simply, my philosophy is buy stocks between 500 to 5,000 crore market cap, and 80 to 90% of them should be MNCs only, no Indian promoters. Okay.
Okay.
And the balance sheet of all MNCs are only of 4 or 5 pages. There's all Indian companies' balance sheet is like a Ren and Martin.
What is actually what are the things that promoters pull off in the balance sheets?
Oh, it's very easy. But now it's the local company over here
Huh.
will sell it to the subsidiary over there, a
Yes.
subsidiary abroad.
Huh.
That subsidiary will sell it to some third company.
Okay.
So they paid up the sales like this.
Oh.
And see, for anybody to read a balance sheet, it should not take more than 4 minutes. If you
I
see
see.
that the debtors and creditors and inventory are huge,
Huh.
just go and dump the stock.
Oh.
Now there is a phenol making company.
Huh.
If you see the subsidiary,
Huh.
I had to call for an ambulance. और stop. अरे क्या करते
मतलब क्या
इतना
क्या हुआ था?
debtors, इतना creditors, इतना inventory.
Wow.
Copy paste every quarter.
Oof.
See, right now,
Huh.
if I tell you that 2,000 rupees stock will go to say 100 or 50 rupees,
Huh.
you will laugh at me. Okay.
Yes.
But this is the reason why I say, and when few people understand that, the price starts going down.
Right.
And I will make the maximum money if I short at 1,000 rupees.
Huh.
Hmm.
And when you say 1,000 rupees means it has already fallen quite a bit.
No. I'm saying now it is, say, suppose 2,000.
Huh.
Now they have a lot of muscle power.
Correct.
When it goes down to 1,000, that time,
Huh.
whatever is my capacity, borrow, steal, whatever, and I'll sell.
So basically, at a 50% fall is when you start the shorting, because these companies have lost their firepower.
Yes. In the market, I was known as Mr. 50-50.
Wow.
And anything that goes up also by 50% over a period of time, I'm a buyer.
Okay, so it's momentum both directions.
Yes. And this bull run was bull run of the century. I have never seen such a bull market.
Seriously, and you're saying this, that means you have seen even 92 and even bull runs before that. So this is even bigger than those, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. That is interesting.
There is this India Mart. A similar company in US. Or rather bigger than that. It's available at $150 million.
Wow.
And here we are where? Billion.
3 billion.
Yeah, 3 billion.
Wow.
Not that I'm shorting or anything, but I feel sorry for people who buy, who come on TV and with a tie and all that, and say buy. For what, boss? Why did you buy it? And the last thing,
Huh.
Deepak bhai, in
in
earlier
the
years,
earlier years,
Huh.
until
until
2004,
2004,
I was
Yes.
I was
very bullish. I
very
would buy
bullish. I would
anything
buy
and everything.
anything and everything.
वो कचरा
वो
stock भी
कचरा
लेता
stock भी लेता
because
because
the EP
the
ratio
EP
was
ratio was
very,
very,
very
very
good.
good.
Good. Yeah. Earnings to price. I mean.
And
And
the interest
the
rate was
interest
at
rate was at
12%,
12%,
and we were
and we
getting
were
stocks
getting
at
stocks at
15,
15,
16 EP
16
ratio.
EP ratio.
Wow.
And now the
And
situation
now the situation
that
that
10 year, I'm
10
talking
year,
about
I'm talking
10
about
years,
10 years,
is
Oh.
at
is at
6.46,
6.46,
Yes.
and DP
and
ratios
DP
are
ratios
half
are
or
half
to
or
one,
to
one and a half.
1 and a half.
So
So
anybody who's
anybody
buying
who's buying
equity
equity
is not
is
going
not
to
going
earn
to
money.
earn money.
See, this is a
See, this is a
generous
general
statement.
statement.
Some
There would
specifics
be
also
There
into
would
it.
be
Yes. Yes.
And Deepak, I
and
would like
I
to
would like to
clarify one thing
clarify one thing
to
to
our friends.
our friends.
I stammer
I
also,
stammer
so
also,
there
so
is
there
some.
is some.
That is no problem.
Tell me.
Tell me,
बोलो दीपक भाई.
बोलो दीपक भाई.
No, sir. I said that is not problem at all, sir.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yes. No, see, sometimes more meaning comes out in two sentences that you say than sometimes a whole book that I've read. So there is no reason to this thing. But no, and your history with all of this has been so much that you can actually you've probably seen the evolution of this happen
Yeah.
through the last 40 years. So what is different now, perhaps, in the markets in terms of how promoters or otherwise, markets themselves have these shady tricks versus what used to be done earlier?
No, see,
No,
the
see,
tricks
the
are
tricks
the
are
same.
the same.
They
Okay.
never
They
change.
never change.
And the
And the
suckers are always
suckers
the
are
same.
always the same.
Now,
Now,
in
in
80s and
80s and
90s,
90s,
our
our
economy was
economy
very
was
small,
very small,
Right.
and our
and
market
our
was
market was
very puny.
very puny.
Okay.
Okay.
Correct.
Since
In
1991,
1991,
it
it
started
started
its real
its
journey.
real journey.
That was a
That was a
huge bull market.
bull market.
Wow.
Now,
Now,
in
in
2001 to
2001 to,
I think
I
our
think our
economy was
economy
some
was some
300
300
billion,
billion.
That's it. Yes.
and now it is
And now it
almost
is almost
2.2
2.3
trillion
trillion
real GDP,
real GDP.
Right.
and our
And
equity
our
markets
equity market
also from
also from
200 billion
200 billion
is now
is
at
now at
uh,
uh,
3.6 trillion.
3.6 trillion.
3.6. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's
No, it's
258 lakh crore.
258 lakh crore.
258. So roughly, 3.4 trillion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
corrected
You
me by
corrected me by
0.2%.
0.2%.
Point कुछ भी नहीं है. Basically, you're right. No, I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now,
so now
as the
as the
GT became
GDP
bigger,
became bigger,
Huh.
all stocks
all
grew,
stocks
all
grew,
players
all
grew,
players
all
grew,
mutual
all
funds
mutual
grew.
funds grew.
That is how
That
the
is how the
revolution has
revolution
happened.
has happened.
But on
But on
this side, one
this
thing
side,
I
one
say,
thing I say,
Huh.
at
at
1.6 lakh
1.6
crore
lakh crore
GDP
GDP
and
and
2.58
2.58
market cap,
market cap,
this market
this
can
market can
be when
be
our
whenever
GDP reaches
GDP reaches
5 trillion
5 trillion
dollars.
dollars.
Huh.
So
Will be
you
the
can
same.
So you can
calculate how much
calculate how much
we are
we are
overpriced.
overpriced.
Wow. So
Uh,
effectively, it can
yeah.
fall half by half.
No, no,
No,
it's
no, it
necessarily case.
necessarily case.
The GDP
The
will grow,
GDP
but
will
the
grow, but
markets
the
will not.
markets will not.
Got it. That
Deepak,
would be.
one last thing I
One
want to
last thing
say.
I want to say.
Huh.
The
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 promoters
promoters
Huh.
are
are
crooks.
crooks.
Huh.
They want you
They
to buy
want you
their
to buy
shares and take it
and
up
take it up
so they can feel
so they can
nice
feel nice
and enjoy
and enjoy
or whatever.
whatever.
Now, in case of
In
Anil
case of
Ambani,
Anil Ambani,
Huh.
uh,
uh,
our power issue,
our power issue
Right.
shorted
short,
in gray
in
market,
gray market
made
made
unsignificant money.
unsignificant money.
Then one day I
Then
saw
one day I
that
saw
Reliance Infra and
Reliance.
all. It was all
It was
padded.
all padded.
I see.
Receivables, payables,
Receivables,
unsecured loans,
secured.
this, that, goodwill. Then I started.
Started.
So
So
they called me and said, "Why are you
very
short?" So
Huh.
I told them that
them that
तुम लोग bogus लोग हैं.
bogus लोग हैं.
So he's saying, mind
They
your
saying
language.
mind your language.
Then he said,
And he said,
we have everything, money, power,
power,
government
power,
contract. What do you have?
Huh.
I said, I have brains. And from that day, the war started. And
Wow.
and thereafter, I was taken
uh,
down by a very fraud management. That is Tata's. The
Wow.
biggest frauds in
frauds.
I used to
I used to
hold
hold
a stake in
a
a
stake
company
in a
called
company.
Tata.
Yes. I remember that.
A huge
A
stake.
huge stake. Huge.
March
March
2013.
Huh.
They announced
announced
they acquired a company in US
in US
for $30 million.
$30 million.
Correct.
So I spoke to
He
them,
spoke to them.
what the hell are you doing? Why are you buying in that
In
competitive market? So he's saying, no, there is a protein in the cap. So when you open the cap, the protein will go down into water and it will become a protein drink. I said, Jesus, ऐसा बोस है और कोई नहीं चलता है. They bought in March
Huh.
and in September they wrote it off.
Whoa. Okay.
And I said, what is this nonsense? So I checked up. They acquired a company from Tata Global Investments. So
I
in
see.
fact, they transferred the loss from Tata Global to Tata Coffee.
I see.
So I said, but why did you buy? So he's saying, after buying, we did a market survey and it wasn't a good product. So I said, you do market survey after or before? Then they said, we will do buyback and all that, but it never happened. But the point is, don't go gaga over any promoter,
Wow.
and especially Tata's. I think Anil Ambani is much better than Tata's.
Wow. For you to be saying that.
No, because see, when you feel somebody is so great, so nice, and he does such things,
Dhoka. Yes.
and if Anil Bhai does it, so I don't mind, yeah. I'm aware of it.
True. True. At least you
Uh,
don't feel betrayed.
yeah.
Yeah.
और
ये
एक खास
और एक
तारीख
8 तारीख
ग्लोबल
ग्लोबल
ललिता
ललिता
Global
ग्लोबल
Telecom, हाँ, Global Tele, correct.
वो फ्यूचर में था बोलो
फ्यूचर में था बोलो
Wow.
6 महीने
6
से
महीने
6 महीने से
6 महीने से
ग्लोबल लो
ग्लोबल
मैं बोला ये तो वो है वो जूना आदमी है वो तिरोड़ करके जो भी आई केप्ट ऑन ऑब्जर्विंग 410 के ऊपर
410 के
रोज उधर रोज फ्राइडे को 3 बजे मैंने बेचना चालू किया
Wow.
और 330 हो गया
330
उस टाइम सर्किट
सर्किट
2012 में
2012
फिर मॉर्निंग मंडे मॉर्निंग 11 बजे 125 का भाव 125 so this is the beauty of short selling if you catch it right you make like a 777 in jackpot.
Oh, wow.
I think RBL Bank and this AU Bank, Bandhan Bank, IndusInd Bank, short delisting, all of them. I can guarantee to anybody that it will happen because the price will never move like this if there is anything not bad.
Even basically the price, go moves before the fundamentals come out.
Yeah.
This is actually quite interesting because these many of these promoters and operators and all, they move the price up whenever they want, I suppose. And I remember looking at Yes Bank stock and saying कि ये ऊपर जा रहा है, it is going up like crazy. It was going up in these perfect nice little steps for a long time, 700 to 1400 before the split.
Yeah.
So this is huge, and I remember that they had a QIP after that. So how do the promoter take the money out because the share price is going up?
No, with the present laws and rules, it's very difficult. At the most, they can give an unsecured loan, but that also is limited now. So it's not really possible to take the money out. No. This government has done very well on that front. Means it has tightened everything. Previously, it was very easy to purchase invoices, purchases and sale bills. Now with GST coming, it's next to impossible. So you see all the numbers are down for almost all the companies.
I see. Okay, so this is interesting. Yeah, so basically, sales stuffing and all that earlier stuff that used to happen, that has changed now. But I'm assuming you also had. I remember when there was some company that was giving bonus every year, and you were saying, "ये क्या? ये तो Opto के जैसे हो गया types." Why do companies who give bonuses? Why do they how do they operate their own stock by doing this bonus thing?
No, that is time tested. What do you say? The time tested formula.
Okay.
If you need an audience or investors, you keep on issuing bonuses. You see this now recently also this company called IEX.
Yes, 2:1 bonus.
Yes. Now that stock should be around 30 rupees on valuation basis. But I don't know why they give bonus, and see, ultimately in long run, mean revision will happen. Valuations will come to its logical level. Deepu, Opto Circuit, he bought a thermometer plant from Hindustan Lever for 4 crores.
Okay.
On that basis, he came out with a with a issue, a public issue. Then the journey started. Then he bought someone who's making blood pressure machine, this, that, inflated turnovers, inflated sales, profit, everything. And every 1 year or so, bonus pay bonus. I came across it and I said, this is a good chance to make huge money. Then people told me all these shares are with the friends and family. So I said, what? It is in futures, shares will come 110%. So he betted with me for 7-8 months. Then he took it up to 280. And on the day of when it was removed from this FNO, it was some 40 or 50 rupees. Thereafter, I don't know what happened. वो 10 रुपया हो गया था एक बार देखा.
I think the fundamentals just weakened immediately after the stock price falling. So, like somebody said, when stock goes up, fundamentals look good. When stock falls, fundamentals suddenly stop looking good.
And Digo, sincerely speaking, ये bonus rights, वो सब share avoid करना चाहिए. And previously, वो bonus issue में क्या था कि you could get a tax advantage. You could book a loss. You buy 100 shares and you get 100 as bonus. So, and you knock off the 100 that you had bought at half the price. You could claim the deduction. So,
Correct.
so all companies used to do that. ये सबसे बड़ा जोक है ना दीपक भाई, ये सबसे बड़ा वो जोक है ना,
हाँ,
ये HCL टेक है. वो क्या करता है, वो पूरा इनकम फ्रंट एंड कर देता है from IBM or some any such big companies.
oh yeah, that deal, the Lotus Notes वाला ना.
हाँ, फिर चुपके से जाके वो बोलते हैं हम लोटस लिए. अरे भाई लोटस कौन वापरता है आजकल? So and I am very cynical, but I am saying plenty and plenty of good companies. One should buy them. India will grow, but not by buying Bajaj Finance. Please forget all that. Don't buy balloons. Buy rock solid valuations. Deepo, I think if somebody wants to ask.
There are people willing to waiting. Shall I ask them? Can I?
Yes.
Okay, let me bring them up on stage also. We have Kumar and Ashish. I think Chirag had also asked, but I don't see him. Okay, Chirag, would you want to go first?
Can you just give an introduction to Sharat Shah and then I have a question?
I had introduced him earlier. Chirag, why don't you start with your question itself?
I missed it, Deepak.
Go for it. I think that instead of repeating it for everyone,
Right.
why don't you start with your question? He's an old time trader, old time hand.
Right.
So he has, more than 40 years of trading knowledge in the market. So please go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So, sir, my question is, which was your best shot between the period of 2008 to 2010?
Yeah, that's difficult to answer. There are a lot of basically my book is always short. Yeah,
Sir, but if you were to choose one, like the 777 jackpot, which was your best shot that time?
best shot was this R group. Hello,
Yes, sir.
the R
Okay,
group.
okay.
Perfect. Kumar, do you want to go ahead and ask?
Sir, do you think that this mid-size IT companies are very overvalued, and use the term balloon, like they had similar to that reached that stage, like Tata Alexi and those kind, LTI, all those companies now? That was my question actually. The
See,
TCS and Infi are trading at much greater valuation than these companies.
this mid-size IT companies.
Yeah.
There are good ones and the bad ones.
Okay.
Okay. Now, of late, I have not been studying them. But as you said, Tata Elxsi.
Yeah, I named it. Yes.
Yeah, I used to hold approximately 8% of the equity. Okay.
Okay.
I'm always bullish on technology. Always bullish.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's better to buy high priced technology shares than buying all this steel, cement, and financials. वो
Okay.
junk है सब junk है. Now it's only technology, nothing else. If anybody wants to find money in banking, he will never find. Your money will grow at much faster pace in technology. And another thing I noticed was a technology called hydrogen fuel.
Yeah.
And in that there is MTAR Tech. I am not invested in that, but I am following it since the public issue. और भी एक दो है ऐसा बहुत अच्छा
Yeah,
है.
this theme is coming up with
Sir, and
of late.
another
Yeah.
thing, this valuation, if it is there forever, you can't keep on saying कि ये balloon है, balloon है, balloon. I would say 30% balloon है. Bajaj Finance, आप 500 time balloon है. Okay, that's the difference. Or
Okay.
this is our India, boss. Don't forget that. Mera Bharat Mahan. We use patriotism in everything, including stock market.
Yes.
तो अब ये चलता रहेगा भाई, फिकर नहीं करने
Yes. Thank you, sir.
का. Pleasure.
Wow. I think Chirag Kabani is also looking to speak. Let me see if I can get him on. I'm not somehow able to get him invite to speak. Okay. Let's see if it is happening. Chirag, you're on. If you'd like to ask.
Oh no, I don't have a question for Sharad Bhai, but I've seen such kind of pump and dump happening in my career also. Sterling Biotech, Nitin Fire, lot many stocks. I can share lot of stories on this. I'm from Ghatkopar. He'll understand.
Yes,
તમે
100%.
માટું કાઢ દેશો જજી?
Haji,
Okay.
hello.
ના ના હું ખાલી કહેતો હતો કે આવી પમ્પ એન્ડ ડમ્પની મારા પાસે પણ બહુ સ્ટોરીઝ છે કે કઈ રીતના ઓપરેટર્સ ડિફરન્ટ ગેમ્સ કરે, બોનસ શેર્સનું ને બધું. સો આઈ કુડ શેર ધેમ ઓલ્સો.
Mm, good.
Okay, this is now a language problem for me. So, but interesting because I mean the stories. Of course, everybody is a victim of their own experience.
No,
Uh,
Sir,
actually,
can I
actually,
ask
I have
one more
seen that
question,
happening in
please?
front of my eyes. How the cartel works and everything. I've seen them.
Sir, can I ask one more question, please?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, as you said that you are generally short on a lot of scripts. So the only way to go short is through futures or by selling the calls or by buying the puts. So, sir, which method should we adopt if we want to go long term short? Just for example, we see that Bajaj Finance is, as you said, is a balloon and should be in the long term should.
No, I got it. What do you want to know?
Sir,
If you,
should we, if we want to wait for the balloon of Bajaj Finance to burst, and what should we do? We should short the future or keep selling the calls. What should we do?
no, I am not. I don't sell puts ever. No, I don't sell options.
Okay.
Period. I sell futures.
Okay.
I buy puts. I buy calls also, OTM calls. Why I buy OTM calls? Because the margin requirement falls to almost 50%.
Okay.
Okay. And there is no right time. You will not be able to catch the knife at the exact time. No. You will have to be invested. You will have to be ready to pay the market or a mark to market. I kept my Satyam short for 5 years. Okay. So you should have, see, if you want to short or short selling, you have to be a vulture. Vulture is a patient bird. That's it. I hope
that's no, that's a very good analogy because although we disregard what the vulture does, the vulture does not um, threaten itself when it has to do what it has to do, which is a quality that is redeeming of it. Because no matter what happens, the vulture survives.
Mm.
But very interesting. And I think and one more point that you had mentioned right now came into my mind. I think I'll quickly run a question by you on that. So these debt-laden companies, the companies with a lot of debt, and the MNC companies that you like in general don't have debt. So
Yeah.
how do these people, how do the promoters or maybe people insiders of the company, how do they benefit from using debt to perhaps even change the valuation of the company, or do they actually borrow to manipulate the price of the company, or do they just use other shenanigans to move their money to themselves?
No, you meaning this Indian promoters or MNCs?
Sorry, Indian promoters, because MNCs are fine, no? Because
See, valuation is a nasha. You know, you get addicted that Yes Bank is valued at 70,000 crores. So I feel great. The first reason is that you see Reliance going down immediately after a few days, it will be up because he is interested in valuation. Or rather, I have not got your question properly, I think.
So if
no,
I
I
can
was.
answer this,
Sorry, go on.
can I go ahead, Deepak?
Go on, go on.
So most of the time, these promoters generally they don't take out the money completely directly, like they sold the shares and they get the money to themselves. What they do is called something called as parking. There is a network of relationship managers at different levels at different broking firms who handle different ultra HNI clients, big portfolio accounts. So let's say if the account size is of 4 crores, 5 crores, they'll say कि अच्छा कंपनी है 10 लाख का लेते हैं अच्छा रिटर्न आएगा. So that way they distribute the shares to lot many clients where the share price will also not fall. The ultra HNI client will not realize that what is happening for 4 5 years. The price will slow and steadily keep moving up. And a good chunk of quantity of share is placed that way to a different lot number of mid-size retail clients, ultra HNI clients in Bombay, and that way they utilize the money. Generally, those shares come from the non-promoter accounts, which actually are their accounts only.
Great.
Nice. I see. So I guess the mechanisms of so I was actually talking about a different structure of within promoters. So for instance, if you have a company like we have seen, no, Bhushan Steel
Hmm.
had 50,000 crores of debt, but they are saying that 50,000 crores is actually not used in the plant which was
Yeah,
made.
as 7 8,000 crores.
So the remaining just vanishes. I mean, or they-
No, they remitted a lot of money abroad. Then they used it for manipulation of the stock. Then they bought a lot of assets that way.
I see, I see, I see. Okay, this
So
is actually quite.
the figure you mentioned of 50,000 crores,
Huh.
in fact, the plants that he constructed are of world class quality. Okay, means he has spent
Absolutely.
much more. Yeah, and he siphoned off around 7 8,000 crores. That was his
Oh,
only.
I
But
see.
I have seen the plants myself. Oh my God, you मतलब वो जर्मनी में भी नहीं होगा ऐसा.
No, I've heard they're the only plant that makes auto grade steel, I guess, in India. नहीं तो auto grade steel is all mostly imported.
Hmm.
So no, this is actually quite interesting. And let me see if there's anyone else who has requested. But no, the okay. While we were on the topic, um, Sharad bhai, there's other sequences that you would have seen in the past where settlement periods used to be longer. I
Yeah,
think
15 days.
it should be 15 days, and the badla used to happen. Is
Previously, it
there a
was 1 month. Then it came down to 15 days.
15? But is the futures market,
Hmm.
stock futures market in that way, very different from the Badla market? And I know that you track the stock futures figures very closely to see how much open interest is there.
Hmm.
And what uh, kind of inputs do you see or you get from that number now versus maybe the Badla figures earlier?
So, what do you want to know?
So the futures market being, sometimes reaches certain extremes. Like I remember once you had said that there are 16 crore Nifty. Because in somehow sometimes I miss the context because I don't know what 16 crore Nifty short means or futures open interest means. But
Okay.
what kind of insights might you get from that? And does that usually reek of someone over leveraging to buy shares?
Yes, now I get it. Since last 2 3 months, the open interest in futures market is 2,20,000 crores. It keeps on meandering over there. Now, out of which 29,000 crores are the upper indices. Rest are the stocks. Now, in stocks, most of the mid cap and all that, it is just a financing transaction. I sell in the cash and I buy it in the future. So I free up my money. So in fact, Tapra NSE is so dumb that if in case of any event, all the liability will come on the investors via this अपने इन्वेस्टर को प्रोटेक्शन फंड अपने लोग जो देता है वो उसको आ बचाने में लगा दे. So this mainly open interest is just a financing activity and nothing else. Yeah, there would be short. So now in stock futures 1,90,000 crores, I assume short position would be to the tune of 20,000 crores. Rest is all long. Yeah. See, I can give you in writing. One day this is going to blow up because NSE itself is leveraged to some 30 times, and to suffer so much leverage in the market, I don't think it will be able to stand it. In 2004 or 5, when there was election, I was scared. So I called up Kotak. If NSE doesn't pay, will you pay me? So they said no. Then I called up somebody else. Okay, I forget. And I called up this MF Global, Man Financial. Now it is REFCO or whatever it is. He said, yes, I have a contract with you. The point being, we are leveraged as traders, investors, but NSE is much more leveraged. I don't understand why are they allowing financing activity on the exchange? Or you keep a separate section. And Deepak, in the olden times, whatever trades you did with brokers, the broker to broker, the exchange was not liable. The broker themselves were liable. Afterwards, NSE came and said, no, we will not reveal identity, and the exchange will assume the second party or third party liability. Now, nowhere in the world it happens like this. Why are you safeguarding everybody and taking on the risk? And you are taking on the risk with 3,000 crores. A market cap of 258 lakh crore, 3,000 crore, and outstanding at 2,20,000 crore. If the market moves by 15% in a day, which is bound to happen in coming times, we'll see a massacre, boss.
It's actually quite interesting because, like you said, if the investor protection fund is 3,000-4,000 crores and the total open interest is 2,20,000 crores.
No. Our investor protection fund is higher, boss.
Is 6,000, I think, 6,000 or 7,000 crores.
Yeah.
Plus the margins they have.
The NSE funds.
Oh, okay. But if there is an adverse move, won't the investor protection fund be liable because that would have effectively meant the underlying broker has defaulted?
Yeah. Now see,
So
the funniest part is I go long or short or whatever. My margin is through equity.
correct.
And mostly it is the same stock that I am buying,
Correct.
So always it's a double whammy on equity futures. So basically my point is, boss, you can't have such a huge market running on equity as collateral.
Right.
Now, and RBL Bank is in Bank Nifty. It is a very good collateral. But an event happens. How good it is then?
How do you? Yeah. So now, if your margin positions are funded by RBL stock and RBL Bank tomorrow falls, say 30%,
Yeah.
because it's in futures, there's no circuit, so it can fall 30, 40, 50%, anything.
No, or
Then we will,
100% also. Sir.
yeah, I mean, it could, yeah, technically, but that would mean that all positions funded by that RBL Bank margin will
Yeah,
also
will
have to be
be
cut.
yes.
I see. And if this happens market wide, then you're going to see an absolute massacre because it will be a spiral.
Yeah, but see, RBL Bank is a very small company,
Correct.
10,000 crores. So it won't affect any which way. But if you recall, when Yes Bank started declining, at 11 o'clock, DHFL also started declining because the
Yeah.
margin pressure came. Or
Yeah.
Deepak, to speak all this, I would require 1,000 or 2,000 hours.
Yeah,
Any more,
I also. Sorry.
and any more questions?
I think I don't see any more. Maybe it's also 11:10, so it's quite of late. But a very fascinating conversation indeed.
Yeah.
If any of the other speakers have any questions, otherwise we can possibly close this where it is. Sharad Bhai, thank you so much, and I'll leave you for some closing remarks to tell the less experienced of all of us what happens when the bull markets or the bullish runs in the in the markets tend to stop or reverse in these times. So just maybe some words from you around that.
What to buy? You should only buy product companies. You should buy only industrials. You should buy only consulting companies. The rest is all junk. They are all cyclical, including banking. And don't hear TV and the experts. Don't do our daily trading. Our daily trading is after heroin. It will kill you ultimately. 1 or 2 trades in 2-3 days will make you rich. No, Dibu, I know what not to buy, and buy good promoter shares, but the definition of good promoter is also very.
Yeah, I think your definition of good promoter is different from other people because other people see outside image. You know sometimes the inner stories. But this is
No.
actually, I think, great way to end it is to say that markets daily trading is like heroin. That's a beautiful statement.
No, Dibu, our promoter, I used to own a large chunk in a sugar company in Delhi. And then he said, I'm coming to Mumbai, we'll meet up. Then we had coffee and I had orange juice or something of this. After the bill came, he wouldn't put his hand in his pocket to pay the bill. So I paid up. When I sat down in my car, I told my dealer, knock off everything. So these small little things are also important in life to observe.
This is actually possibly more important than studying the books of the company. Study the mentality of the promoter.
And last thing, don't talk about Warren Buffett. He's sitting on $100 billion. We can't copy style. We are playing with a few rupees. So we have to have a maximum gain out of those money. We can't just buy and go to sleep for 10 years. And don't be afraid to pay your taxes. If you are making profit, don't worry about the tax, just knock it off. And if anybody has any questions, my DM is open, and I won't answer stock specific queries. That's it.
Thanks, Sharad Bhai. That was brilliant. We'll do more of these. I think. I hope to hear more. I know that the handle had to change this time, but hopefully
Yeah.
the Twitter space will be clearer next time. Uh, uh, very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy 2022 to you in case and to everyone here. Thanks for listening. We haven't recorded this obviously because we hope nobody else has recorded it either. It's just
No, Deepak bhai. No, Deepak bhai. Don't worry about all that. I have had 19 FIRs against me by this promoter. कोई कुछ नहीं करता है. I have not abused anybody. I have not spoken any lies. Please,
yes, I agree with that.
don't
नहीं,
worry.
आजकल
अरे कुछ नहीं होता दीपक भाई, क्या करेगा? और वो भी शरद शाह का क्या कौन करने वाला है दीपक भाई?
That is a great attitude, Sharad Bhai. I think we should emulate courage and willingness to stand up. आजकल बहुत कमी में है. But thank you so much. This was
Yeah.
lovely. And I'll
Yeah.
close the call. But close the space and looking forward to more such spaces in the future.
Okay, season review.
All right.
Bye.
See you then.